You know, I used to wonder why people would gravitate towards fitness influencers that don't have any credentials when there's so many actual experts out there.
Did you find out why?
I did find out why.
Okay,
The
now-
answer, sometimes relatability can be more impactful than expertise.
Damn, you just said it right away. I was gonna be like, the answer may shock you. Stay tuned to the end of the episode. Guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Beef It Brothers podcast. As usual, that's Julian and I'm Victor. I flipped the order today on you guys. So, I gotta keep you guys on your toes.
It's also episode number 75, so
Whoa, hey,
congrats.
nice to meet you.
It's
Guys,
a lot of episodes.
thanks for coming all this way with us. If you've been here from the beginning, we appreciate you. If you're new,
We're going to do something insane in episode 100, so tell your friends, subscribe.
we're gonna see
Get
who
us to
has
1,000 subscribers.
a hair
We're dying to quit this fitness shit and just become...
podcasters
yeah.
forever. That'd be awesome. If we do, I promise we'll get real mics.
So today I want to argue why you don't necessarily need an expert when you're just beginning. You can basically just listen to somebody who's a few steps or one step ahead of you, and that doesn't need to be an expert. And that kind of seems like we're undermining our whole thing because we're experts.
I was gonna say I'm cutting this podcast.
So why are we talking about this?
Why?
Well, because it's a fact that people follow other people all the time who don't have the credentials and maybe aren't even super knowledgeable, but they can relate to the fact that you're doing the thing that I want to do. And maybe you're just, like I said, a step ahead of me.
Yeah, and you might see more of yourself in that person rather than seeing yourself in the shredded guy or the guy with a physique that you think is unattainable.
Or the researcher who spends all his days in a lab and is talking in like all this jargon and things like that.
Yep.
However, that being said, there are serious things you need to watch for when you're just paying attention to somebody who doesn't have a lot of knowledge. So there are serious limitations that you got to be aware of. So I want to get into all of that today.
Let's dive on in.
Okay, so picture this. We have a 33-year-old mother of two who wanted to lose weight and started working out and documenting her journey on TikTok. And now she has all these fans and this audience who can relate and has built a connection, seeing her journey, seeing how she struggled, and seeing themselves in that in this other person. Now, she's not an expert, she's not a trainer, nothing like that, but she's doing the work and she's doing the thing that all these other people can relate to. So I can see how somebody like that can have a lot of influence and sometimes more influence than somebody who's like, I don't know, a professor in exercise physiology who's also posting content. That seems like there's no emotional connection there at all.
Yeah, this is like an instant connection. It's kind of like when you just start talking to somebody and right away you guys kind of click. So you get that instant connection of, hey, I'm also a similar age. I have 2 kids. I'm kind of going through the same thing. And she just did it, documented it, was pretty transparent about it. Seems like it's very attainable to me as opposed to this other person who, in your eyes, as the consumer, might be talking purely theoretical.
And here's the thing. We always see things through our lens of having done this for 20 years, right? But the person who has the problem, the person who just needs to lose weight or whatever, get fit again after having kids, they don't care about all the technicalities that we can explain to them. They only care, that lady did it. She did exactly what I want. I'm going to listen to her. Why wouldn't I? And it's an anecdote. It's real. Like, it happened.
And it's like an emotional journey
for
them. So they can kind of like that. A lot of people make decisions based on emotion. And this is a big one that they'll make. So like you just said, they kind of see themselves in the person right away. That emotional connection is stronger than anything. Even if you're like super overqualified, anything you could tell them and you're telling them all the right things. But it's like, well, yeah, but I saw Susie do it. So I have that proof already. So it's kind of hard to combat that.
For sure. This is why expert salespeople, they tell good stories and they hook you emotionally, because you're absolutely right. Nobody cares about all the technicalities. We think we're logical creatures, but we're really emotional creatures. So you nailed it. That's exactly what's happening there.
That's why I have a fake picture of myself in a fat suit. Like when I remember making a sale on the desk, I just put it there. Like, and the people were like, "Oh my God, that was you!" And I'm like, "Uh-huh."
Yep. I'm telling fitness saved my life.
Yep.
The other thing is that sometimes the expert is giving advice that's like so far ahead, like leagues ahead of where the beginner is, that you can't relate to it. You lose them. You're talking too many technicalities, too nuanced. It's overwhelming. I can see how it's overwhelming. So I'll give you a perfect example with myself. When I started Instagram, if I look back at my old posts, first of all, they're a little cringe, but I was going through grad school at the time. So I was learning all these advanced concepts. Like, I had been a personal trainer for a while already, but I was learning all this like scientific stuff and physiology and, at the molecular level and all that. And I would speak, like the way my posts were, it was like I was talking to a bunch of other grad students or other like super high level trainers or professors. I look back and I'm like, how did anyone even, somehow I gained a following, but how? Is it because people thought I was smart? Because I was not simplifying anything for people. I was talking way too much like technicalities that now, as through the years, as I've gotten more experience, my message is way simpler, like way, way, way more simple.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're trying to train other fitness professionals or you're speaking to, like you said, to that crowd, nobody wants to hear those anatomical terms or these technical jargon. They want you to tell them what they want to hear. This is what I'm going to do for you. This is where you're at now. This is where I'm going to meet you. And this is what we're going to do. Like, no fluff, no, like, let's be honest. I would tell you all the time, like, who's going to read this whole paragraph explaining, like, the anatomy and physiology of the glutes? Like, unless you're another fitness professional, like you've garnered a following of said people, general population is not going to be really that interested in it.
Or you're more advanced and you've gone through all the beginner stuff and you're starting to see that, okay, I want to go deeper, then you would follow.
Or you're teaching a seminar or something along those lines. But if you're training general population, you're training, like you said, the mom that's 33, she doesn't care. Like, she doesn't care about all these terms. All she wants to do is, hey, you're going to help me see my results like Susie did? Yeah? Okay, great.
But this is where therein lies the first problem. And that's everybody in fitness is trying to tell you, give you the answer to the problem that you have, give you the solution.
There's a lot of
scammers, like
snake oil.
I'll give you an example. One of the posts that I hate seeing on social media are like, there's this really, I know you've seen it because you've shown me before, but it's like a white lady with two black guys next to them for some reason, right? And they're all shredded, and then they go, do this every day to get a six pack, and they're doing plyometrics.
Yeah.
You've seen them. They're doing dancing, really high definition camera, dancing, like, a lot of stuff. They just look really good. I'm like, do that every day for a six pack? That's BS. Like, that's a lie. That's just a straight up lie. But it's an appealing video. Of course, there's the innuendo of, I'm not gonna go there.
What's the innuendo?
Every comment is about, oh, I know what they did after, this and that. It's like if you have like porn brain.
Look at my smile. No,
don't put any of this, please. So what bothers like the more seasoned trainers like us about things like that is that, okay, now you're oversimplifying. Now you're promising something that's just not true. It's like when Ashton Hall, the big jacked guy, the morning routine guy, before he did that, he would post like these little silly body weight workouts and it was like, oh, this isn't that, arm day or shoulder day. And we would all be like, dude, you didn't get that physique doing those little workouts. There's zero chance.
The perfect example is
it's physically impossible for you to get that built on that little workout. So don't deceive your audience, and that's why you got to be careful with.
The perfect example of that is any sort of gimmicky fitness equipment, like the perfect push-up, the
shake weight,
all of that gets like, hey, look, you've been strength training for what, 20 years? All right,
come over here.
Get in here.
We need a
Grab
model.
this. Put that as the.
Oh shit, we didn't do it.
We gotta pose at the end.
Yep.
So, like you said, that's super deceptive. But unfortunately, social media and the media in general rewards relatability more than it rewards knowledge or more than it rewards somebody that's actually speaking to you in the way that you need to be spoken to.
So, side tangent, I heard this the other day, and of course, you don't know whether to believe what the person wrote, but she wrote on Twitter that she was a nanny for this couple, and basically would mistreat their nannies. They were kind of like pieces of shit. And then the guy was like this, he had this job, he was never home, this and that, never hanging out with the kids. But then he decides to quit his job, open up a personal finance blog, and his whole shtick, his mission of the blog was, I'm doing this so that I can achieve financial freedom, so that I can spend more time with my kids because I love hanging out with my kids. In other words, but this lady was saying, this guy's full of shit. He didn't give nothing about his kids. He didn't hang out with them at all. He was actually not a great person. He was mistreat his nannies. But on the internet, he was playing that whole game of, I'm just a good dad that, like, I'm teaching you how to be financially savvy so you could spend time with your kids like me.
Yeah.
The whole point of that story is be careful with this relatable person that you see online. So many people are crafting an image and crafting a brand that behind closed doors, you don't know if that person's actually like that. So
we know one person, I'm not going to say them by name, but we know one person that was like that, everybody that would actually know them was like, wow, what a total piece of... Yeah, que la loca que la compre. But to present themselves, damn, I already said it's a she.
Damn.
They, them would present they themselves to social media, and everybody's like, oh my God, you care about your
So
kids so
kind,
much,
so
and you're so kind,
compassionate.
oh my God. And in real life, like, you're just a piece of shit and a bad trainer to boot. So, like he just said, be very careful going for the relatability route when they don't have, I don't know how one would even separate the two. Because if you don't know the person, if you don't know them
If you
personally,
don't know them personally,
how do you separate, the Sohi Fit, who looks like such a kind, good person, like a genuinely caring trainer? How do you know that they're actually like that without getting to know them?
Yeah, well, I think that we've said it in another podcast, but it's always your responsibility to educate yourself a little bit. Okay, I say this like once a podcast, but I'm gonna say it again. Just chat GPT the claim. If someone's telling you, can I get a six pack doing these little plyometric high knee raises and jumping around with a smile, ChatGPT is gonna tell you, no, you need a calorie deficit, you need to work on your diet, you need to have good sleep, you need to do strength training, you need to do so like the problem that I see is that people just take everything at face value. Like I emotionally connected with that, so I'm gonna buy from you.
And,
I just think that's a huge mistake.
Another problem is the avalanche effect of like, oh my God, this has 30,000 likes. Therefore, it must be
good.
good.
Yep.
Like, no, I'm the opposite. I see that amount of likes or that amount of shares. I'm like,
Skeptical.
Immediately skeptical. Immediately.
We kind of already started digging into the limitations, but let's give a little more credit to, let's say, a new coach or somebody who's just getting into this space of, I'm going to start giving people advice, or I'm going to start documenting my journey and telling other people kind of what to do. There's some value in that. One of them that I can think of is not everyone needs like super advanced programming right off the bat.
Especially if you're just starting off. Yeah.
Exactly. Most people, maybe they just need to walk every day, or they need something like just stupidly simple.
Or they need somebody to just get them going.
Exactly.
Basically.
So there is a lot of value in that. In like, okay, I helped this person go from sedentary to moving. So that's a big first step, often the biggest.
I would rather hire personally to work for us, somebody that's inspiring, that's motivating, that can get people moving, rather than somebody that's like super technical and knows all the technical know-how, and it's going to be maybe a little too harsh on a beginner client. I'd rather work with the new coach and teach them the technical ability, because they have that energy, they have that soft skill to motivate people, to get people through the door, to, hey, check in on you, where were you this morning? Like I think those are, especially for a new client, I feel like that's so important.
Yeah, for sure. And remember, as a beginner, what you're really trying to do, you're not trying to like optimize or have this perfect routine. What you're trying to do is build good habits. So anybody who can get you from sedentary to starting to build those good habits, like that's a big win right there. It doesn't need to be this expert world-class coach. Now, of course, once you get past that, then we're going to talk about why you do need somebody that's a little bit more knowledgeable. But in the beginning, it's perfectly fine.
Yeah, we're also not saying that you want somebody with no credentials or that's giving you workouts that are going to hurt you or workouts that are counterintuitive. It's a beginner trainer with at least some sort of entry-level knowledge that they're not going to hurt the client.
Yeah, this reminds me of the first gym I worked at. They would hire like random trainers, and they hired this guy that just came from Cuba. Nicest guy ever. He was really cool, really nice, this older guy. They didn't know a lick about exercise, nothing.
Or English.
Zero things. Yeah, no English, but whatever. We live in Miami, Hialeah. And this guy was just not, I would see what he was doing to his clients, and I'd be like, oh my God, this guy's gonna kill somebody. But he was super popular. People liked him.
That's what it is.
Because he was a nice guy. He was kind of charismatic, And
you see it from the lens of an advanced.
I love this guy. And I was like perplexed even back then, because I was like, wow.
Like our first exercise, lateral raises. And you're like,
he was making people like jump onto Bosu balls, like old ladies jump onto Bosus, like just
what's wrong with
insane things. And I learned very quickly, they're like, wow, personality matters almost more than technical knowledge.
Yeah, how you sell yourself, how you present things is so important. Like, that's why, and like you said, it's okay in the beginning to get those new trainers, but if you're doing things like that, like that's just too risky. Like I wouldn't even want you in here.
So that's why my advice to the new trainer or the fitness influencer is like, stay in your lane, like know your limitations. Excuse me, even we as more advanced trainers know our limitations. As a matter of fact, I would argue that the more knowledgeable you are about a subject, the more humble you are about like, no, I'm not gonna try to diagnose this pain that you have in your knee. I'm gonna send you to like a PT or an ortho.
What's that quote that I think you've told me before, that it's like the smarter guy always admits that he doesn't know anything or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a known thing where it's like, when
the fool thinks he knows everything. Something
exactly.
But I agree. Whenever a client tells me like, oh, I have a pain right here, I'm like, it's your knee. It could be anything. It could be so many things. I'm not gonna sit here and like okay, let's see. Like, I'm not gonna try to
We
solve.
said it. We said it in another podcast. Like, if somebody wants to become like the best football player they can be, like, I'll send you to a coach that
Yeah.
specifically does football. But a new trainer, they'll be like, "Oh, I train football players,
Yeah.
volleyball players, old ladies, kids.
Yeah.
I'll train anybody." And it's like,
train a
yeah, you're gonna
baby.
be mediocre at training all those people. Like, we know, like, what our expertise is, and then everything outside of that, we're not gonna try to make any claims.
Yeah.
Even with nutrition, trainers need to be careful what they say because you're not a dietitian, you're not a nutritionist, but yet every trainer I know out there on social media is giving
Nutrition
like
advice.
sometimes personalized meal plans, which
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do. So all I'm saying is the advice is when you're starting off, we agree that you should, it's okay to like have people take people under your wing, give people some advice, but like just know your limitations. You're that person to take them from nothing to starting to work out to building those habits. You're encouraging. You can do all those things, but don't start like trying to write these advanced programs or trying to recommend certain supplements that have no actual evidence behind them. Like, just know your limitations.
Yeah, and therein lies the problem with social media. Every 18, 19-year-old with a decent physique thinks they know everything because it worked for them.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna piss off Allie talking about how young trainers
Her
are
young,
knowledgeable.
great trainers. Okay.
I'm sure that they're great because they have great attitudes.
I'm sure that's it.
Even
Like,
though
it's
she
pretty much
knows
all it
better.
takes. Yeah, no, she knows better, but and then Sammy's gonna make fun of us because all we talk about is Ali.
Oh man,
Here we go
those
again.
guys not have any
We don't
other
have any
friends?
We don't. Spoiler alert. But yeah, I mean, it's okay, and it's true. There's some good young trainers, but me perdona, you're not gonna know everything right off the bat. You're not
It's
like
because experience is a great teacher.
exactly. El diablo sabe más por viejo que por diablo.
It's like you take that like
Put that in translation.
you take that fresh kid out of college, and I was that kid. I knew a lot of technical things
Yeah.
back then, but I can tell you, and I thought I was the shit, by the way. I thought I was
know.
the best trainer ever.
I know.
23, 24. But then you realize that, wow, experience and dealing with all these people has taught me so much that I can never learn in a book. So that's why I would always argue that a more experienced trainer is better because they've put in the hours. That's it. It's as simple as that.
You know the struggles that are gonna come with training someone. You know
The patterns.
yeah, you know all of it. You know, like this person didn't sleep well. I'm not gonna push them too much. Like all of these things. Whereas the beginner trainer can be like, and we say it all the time. It's like, oh, come on, man. It's not that hard to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning. Like without recognizing the behavior that their client might be having. That hey, maybe this isn't the right time for me to push them.
I'll also say that one of the big limitations of being that person that like transformed themselves and now is trying to preach or give advice to others is that they don't know something that we had to learn the hard way, which is just because something worked for you does not mean it's going to work for somebody else. So you are under the impression, whenever you see like a transformation, you see something that's working for you, you want to preach about it. You want to tell everybody that this is the thing. Like it worked for me.
We know one guy who just went
multiple
through.
people.
No, but we know a guy recently who went through a crazy transformation, and God, I hope he's listening to this. And then all of a sudden became a trainer and is trying to help people, and he's doing a terrible job at it. You sent me a video of him doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
And he's doing a terrible job, and it's like, oh well, he lost 200 pounds. He must know what he's doing. Wrong.
Yeah, so that's the problem is that you need to learn that. Everyone needs to learn that. Just because something worked for that person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So that, again, that's something that, let's say I'm into keto or whatever because I lost 60 pounds on it.
Keto's quest.
I start to give keto to all these people. I'm going to realize quickly that, that person couldn't adhere to it. It was too difficult. Oh, this person, they said they were doing this. They weren't. Maybe I should like take a step back.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about experience is that you realize that, the way that I trained these people, even though it worked for them, it's not really working with this person. I need to try a different approach. And you realize that everybody's different.
Everybody's butt is different.
So-
A perfect example is one of the more popular questions we get from somebody who's just starting training is, especially in the morning, should I eat before my workout? Seems like a simple enough question that a trainer should be able to ask. And then my answer is very nuanced. It depends. Depends on you. It depends on what time you get up. It depends on how quickly you digest. I can't just say right away, oh yeah, have a banana and a protein shake before because you want to have the glycogen. I can't tell you that. You might feel like throwing up.
Which is what a newbie trainer would say.
Exactly,
like
'cause that's what I do.
Well, what I do
Yeah.
is I skip breakfast and I don't
Yeah.
have my first meal until 4 p.m. because intermittent fasting is
Yeah.
the way to go.
If I
It's
intermittent
not that
fast till
way.
4 p.m., I would pass out. So I tell everybody, mess around with your nutrition. Eat a banana before. Do you feel better? Do you not? You kind of got to go through it yourself, and it's not what people want to
And
hear.
this is the problem
It's not sexy.
with being the knowledgeable one is that you know so many that everything is so nuanced, but everybody hates hearing that answer. It depends.
Just
it
tell me an
depends.
answer, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing about like the perfect cardio split, and it's like I want to listen to the very confident,
Yep.
charismatic, good-looking guy or girl on Instagram that's telling me this is the way, this is how you get a
Yeah.
six-pack, because people like certainty.
Yep.
Nobody likes that whole. Well, it kind of depends.
And that's why social media what sells is the direct little red X. Luckily, not anymore. Don't do this. Do this instead. It's like kind of almost everything can
Or
work.
my personal favorite, what I eat in a day.
Yeah,
Which,
who
by the way,
gives
I
a
have a
sh-
really good skit idea. Tell me if you guys think it's a good idea, which is like what I eat in a day, and it's me shirtless, ripped, of course. It's me
Are you gonna
shirtless.
Photoshop that, or
I am. It's me shirtless. The thing is like what I eat in a day, and the next cut is irrelevant because you're not gonna look like me.
yeah, that's actually good.
yeah, no, it's a good one.
It could be what I eat in a day, and it's what I eat in a day. But you guys don't want to
Ooh.
see that. You've
There
been
you go.
dying to do that.
Yeah. I want to do a whole project on that. So the last thing we'll say about the limitations is that emotionally appealing to someone isn't a replacement for actually knowing the stuff that's going to give you results. And there are things that I tell our new trainers here all the time. They're non-negotiables. You have to know anatomy. You have to know basic physiology. You have to know a little bit of psychology because you're dealing with people. And you can't replace that with, well, I know exactly how you feel. I was just
Don't touch me.
there. I was just there and 4 months ago and I lost all this weight. So
Yeah.
it's like, as a matter of fact, it's a dangerous game you're playing by appealing to someone's emotions because you're bypassing.
You're removing the brain
Exactly.
portion.
They will really listen to you. And
talking
this is
to the
how,
heart.
This is how, I don't want to get off topic, but it's true. This is how cults
Oh.
happen. It's true. I've seen
100%.
a lot of cult documentaries in my day.
Yes.
You guys know that. And it's always the same thing. It's people, they recruit you, usually when you're most vulnerable.
down, you're
They
hitting
alienate
rock
you
bottom.
from your family. They tell you this thing where it's like, they might like hype you up. Of course, there's some leader that's like, everybody else is hyping up and appealing to your emotions, your desires, and like everything's gonna be okay, things are gonna be great.
They're gaslighting you.
Yeah, and you got to be careful because if you were to like remove they always do the same thing. Once they're out of the cult, they're like, I can't believe, I don't know how it happened to me. Now that I see it,
Yeah.
the red flags
They
were
don't
there.
let you think rationally. It's
It's
the problem.
same as
Yeah.
you and you and you and you that are listening to this that bought those supplements from that snake oil
Oh.
salesman.
You about the fat
Because-
burner.
Exactly, because you believe that, this is that. They probably sold you some story or something like, I was trying XYZ, but I started taking this
When I
thing.
started eating the fat burner, that's when I really
when I
started to see
really-
results.
And man, it gets you. It's powerful, but
You
again,
might be there feeling your absolute worst, and it's like, damn, that worked for this person. Whatever. Here's my card. Like at a moment of weakness, that's what they want.
it happens to all of us. None of us are immune to it. We'd like to think
100%.
we are, but we're not.
Yeah, like I've bought things at a whim like that. Like
I see them try to get me all the time. And by the way, the marketing is good these days because it's so personalized.
Yep.
Like tell me you don't get like gym stuff all the time, how to blow up your gym and have this and that or whatever. For me, it's now kid stuff and parenting
Yeah.
stuff. Is your kid having tantrum and this and that? Don't do this, do that. And you're like, man, like
my kid
you
is
got
having
me.
tantrums, and
you got
I'm not
me.
sleeping that well. Yeah, they'll get you with anything there.
And unfortunately, the health and fitness and stuff is like it's a very powerful driver for us. Like, what's a really strong one I've realized now that I'm a parent and I know a lot of parents is that like women getting their body back or postpartum or like a few years after having their kids, like they're highly, highly motivated and vulnerable to that messaging of like, I can get your body back. Like,
Yeah.
I know you don't feel the same as you used to. And it's true. And it's very hard on them, extremely hard on their self-image. So right there, that's a good, nice little way to hook if you're not careful with somebody who's just going to promise you XYZ.
And that's when the lady with great genetics that had 2 kids and then bounced right back
Bounced
is
right
going to
back.
sell you, hey, look at me. I have a 6-pack. How did I do it? Buy my program, buy my fat burners.
And one
it's
of
like,
my least favorite things is when they promise you a time frame. Like this was me 6 months
Oh,
after
yeah.
my kid, which you cannot control. I don't care who you are. You can't control what somebody's gonna look like or how much weight they're gonna lose 6 months post having a baby. So again, you just have to be careful and try not to
fall into the emotion of it.
exactly.
It's tough.
Think about it a lot and then like cross-reference what you're about to do.
Yeah.
But sadly, and look, I know I called some of you guys out, some of you that don't even listen to the podcast, but like there's like 3 or 4 people in this gym that should know better, but still went out and bought a very expensive supplement that has zero research behind it because it's like, a little edge and this and that. Some of you even know that it's placebo and
And you're
still bought it
yeah.
anyway. All right,
If
well,
you got disposable income, that's one thing.
there's
But
only so much we could do about that.
But then where I draw the line is irresponsible practices like preaching hot yoga and hot Pilates and all this BS. I got upset with somebody here today because they were trying to tell me, but it's good. It's good for detox. And I'm like, okay. It's like, okay, if you want to kill two birds with one stone, like, okay, but but I'm in the sauna and I'm doing yoga at the same time. Okay, then for that logic, text and drive. Kill two birds with one stone. Brush your teeth while you take a nap. Like, do things at once all the time. Why not? Because, dude, separate your sauna time. I'm not saying being in a sauna is bad. We talked about the benefits. And your yoga time. Do them separately. Don't do something that's potentially dangerous just because you want to knock out two birds with one stone. And then definitely don't try to tell me it's good for you.
Well, I think that it's very hard when people experience something. Personal experience is everything, right? So you can tell me all you want.
Yeah.
But if I go somewhere
euphoria.
and I feel good, then screw what you said. I'm going to continue believing this thing. And you know what? If you feel good doing something, do it. But like you said, don't take that from I feel really good doing this to this thing is XYZ benefits. Like this is amazing.
I'm right and this is what it does.
Exactly.
It's like,
because by that logic, this Celsius I'm drinking right now.
whoop, there's Celsius in there?
It is.
I have vodka.
It says that it burns fat, it speeds up your metabolism. It's like, okay,
I mean, it
that's
does,
a
though.
far cry, man. Like,
you.
it's just caffeine.
Yeah.
Caffeine is gonna just like spark you up a little bit.
It might cause you to move
want
more,
me to- yeah,
which
like-
might burn more fat.
Yeah, so that's why
That's
those
all
murky
caffeine.
claims, right? But I can go out and say Celsius is the thing. It's the reason why I'm so lean, and because it helps you burn fat.
Celsius is gonna take
I
this
can
quote-
feel my metabolism getting faster as I drink it, and it's like just again, let's not go that far.
Yeah, it's just caffeine.
So let's shift gears now and talk about when you might outgrow that first mentor or coach or motivator or fitness influencer, because I think that most people don't realize that you're supposed to outgrow them. Like the person that took you from 0 to your first step isn't necessarily the person that's going to take you to step 5 or 6. This is like a mountain that you're climbing, and each step along the way you need like a different guide.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm not saying that you can't hire an expert from the beginning. As a matter of fact, I would argue that like of course we would love to toot our own horn, but we're excellent with beginners because we've seen so many of them that we've learned to simplify things like so much. Like I used to bombard people like day one with all these things and try to sound smart. Now I've learned to just share what they need at the moment. It might be 1 or 2 things. This is what you need right now. Don't worry about any of those things. Let's worry about this. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. You're supposed to outgrow that first mentor. You're supposed to, like, once you get to that point where, okay, I have good habits, I'm getting better, now have a little bit more of an advanced goal of like body recomposition, gaining some muscle, really getting
plateaued.
strong.
I might have plateaued.
Exactly. Then it's like, all right, now I might want to seek out another coach.
Yeah, and like you said, here at BeFit and the trainers that we hire are great at with the beginners, and we are too because we've dealt with so many of them. So we know how to get you going, how not to overwhelm you with information. But even we are, and then like you said earlier, that comes with the knowledge. I've trained people for years, and they're like, well, now I have this new, very niche goal. I'll be the first one to tell you, okay, perfect. Then here's a very recommended, like, you want to be an IFBB pro? I'll send you to somebody who does just that. Like you said earlier, you want to train, you want to be a football player? I got you from the beginning. I got you with hypertrophy. I got you all this stuff.
Yeah, so even though you know your limits.
Exactly. Even as a quote unquote advanced trainer, you should know when to. And so I think that's like what you said. You kind of need to know when to take that next step. And as a trainer, you have to know, hey, like I'm out of my element here.
Yep.
Whether you're knowledgeable or not, that has nothing to do with it. I actually have a very good client who told me he wanted to start bodybuilding. I told him, hey man, look, we've done pretty much all we can here with our equipment, with my knowledge. I'm going to send you to somebody who does this.
Yep.
He went to him and he's seeing great results over there. Like,
yeah, he's gained a shit ton of muscle.
Yeah,
He's
yeah. He's jacked. Shout out.
I mean, he was jacked when he was here, but bodybuilding is a whole different animal. And
Yeah.
I agree with you. And that's what we were talking about, humility. What I would recommend to the consumer would be, okay, you're here and you're doing this program and maybe you like it, you enjoy it, maybe you found like a decent community, but be realistic. Are you seeing the results that you can potentially be seeing? Or more importantly, the person that's guiding you, this person, like, what is their track record? What is their, like, are they doing continuing education? Do they read books? Are they this person that likes to educate themselves? Or is it one of those, I know what I'm doing, I post fancy looking things on social media, I use my body as a selling point? Like, I can tell you, we say it on this podcast all the time, the best trainers in the world are not the Instagram influencers with 2 million followers with a like amazing physique. These are people that are again, a little bit more humble because they know so much that they know that there's a lot to learn. It's kind of paradoxical, right?
Yeah.
When you think about it. So I would always say when you're looking for a trainer, ask for qualifications, ask for, have you worked with other people like this? Like we get this all the time in consultations where people will say they have low back pain or they have a spine. We just have a lady that signed up this week that had 3 different issues in her spine, 3 different surgeries. And, you know, I was able to put her at ease because I told her that I've worked with so many other people that have had spinal issues. I have herniated disc myself. You know, here's the experience that we have with this. Whereas if you just walk into a random gym, what are the odds that your trainer is going to know anything about spinal injury, spinal surgeries,
or somebody
rehabilitation?
that's fresh out of school and they're like, well, you have to do the 6 foundational lifts. So yeah,
Oh
your
my
back
God,
hurts
I wish
deadlifting.
they said that.
No, but
nobody knows about the 6 foundational
But you know what I mean? Like,
lifts.
oh, your back hurts, but we need to deadlift.
We need to deadlift,
So,
yeah, of course.
So we'll find a way to do it. Like
Yep.
we always say, you don't have to do every exercise.
Exactly.
You'll find your way around it if you're knowledgeable enough.
And again, that's, sorry to cut you off, but that's a perfect example of the anti-new trainer, like the young trainer, because I was that guy that
You have to squat.
I have to squat.
You
So
have to squat.
for those who don't know, I injured my back doing a back squat. I realized I had a herniated disc. The back squat didn't cause a herniated disc, all right? That's a rumor. It could have been there from God knows what.
Son rumores.
Right? So, I screwed up my back, went to a few doctors or whatever, and even after the pain, I never felt quite great with back squat ever again. But I still tried to do it. Like I really would force it, and I would get re-injured, and I would get re-injured, and I would get re-injured until I finally got to an age where I was like, why the hell do I have to back squat?
I'll just do Bulgarians.
I'll just do other things that are give me the same results, like Bulgarians, reverse lunges, hip thrusts.
Yeah.
Those don't feel great either, but step-ups. In other words, I tell my clients all the time, oh, that exercise doesn't work for you? No problem.
Yeah.
We don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Either we find the modified version or we don't do it at all. I promise you, nothing's going to happen. But I thought, because I learned through this at school, grad school, whatever, back squat is such a good exercise. It's and it is, but it's not for everyone.
If it feels good for you.
Exactly.
And something that I was just going to throw in here really quick, and we get this all the time, I'm not shitting on, well, maybe I'm shitting on them, is if you do those like group fitness classes like Sweat 440, F45, it's a great intro if you're not injured, if you're not, if it's a great intro if you're physically able to perform them. But that's what it is. It's a great intro or a great supplementary workout to your actual strength training plan.
I wouldn't say great, but okay. You're giving a lot of credit.
It's
Sorry,
fine.
I just can't.
No, it's fine.
I can't separate myself from that.
You're right. It's fine. It's fine. It's something. It gets you moving.
These people, they're like F45 and stuff. Like they're making obese people do plyometrics for 45 minutes. Like that's dumb.
Okay, but I mean, like it just gets you.
I know what you mean.
It gets you moving. But it's kind of like that's one that you should almost immediately. We see it a lot. Like, oh, I was at Orange Theory and I outgrew it. Yeah, because what you're doing is a half-assed strength training workout and then cardio that you can, let's be honest, do on your own.
Yeah.
So you kind of grow out of that pretty quick, and that should be like, baby's first class, and then you kind of quickly move on from that if you build the proper habits.
Yeah, and the thing that I want to harp on that, basically piggybacking on what you just said, is that in the beginning, you can do well with like a hype man, like a trainer who's like, I call them cheerleader coaches, right? They're not actual coaches in the sense that like a coach's job is a lot more than hyping you up.
Yeah.
But the average person doesn't realize that. They go to one of these classes or they hire this coach that is just like a really good, like, let's go, good job, more. You can do 2 more reps. Good job.
Let me interrupt you real quick. So that's the difference between a personal trainer that does personal training, but also happens to teach group classes, and a group class instructor that's, like you said, a cheerleader.
Yep.
Because the group class instructor doesn't know anything, is gonna...
They never even have to write
hey,
workouts.
yeah, good job, you're doing great on that. Oh, you need a regression. We're gonna try lighter weight, and it's like, you don't really know the person's injury history. You don't know how to regress the exercise. You don't know any substitutions.
The expert coach realizes after a point that it's not always, you could do 2 more.
Yeah.
No, come on, go harder.
Yeah.
No, you could do it. Like, sometimes it's actually back off. Like, your form is, completely messed up because you're trying to do too much. Like, there's nuance to this. So what I would tell, like, the advice I would give to, like, the consumer is, like, you need more than just a hype person. Like, a coach isn't a cheerleader. A coach is more of a guide, a mentor, somebody who's going to put together this strategy, this path, this
structure,
blueprint
and
for you to get to your goal.
And somebody who's not scared to tell you, whoa, put the 25s back, get the 20s. Not, you got those 25s, and it's like swinging it. No. Hey, somebody, sin pena, is going to tell you, your knee was caving a little in the last squat. We're going to drop the weight a little bit. Have that. Like, that level of respect for each other and
Yep.
understand that you could tell them that, and the client is gonna take it as like, this person knows what's good for me. It's part of my plan, not, oh, this guy's trying me, or like this guy doesn't think I could do it. Like, no, that's not how it is.
And sometimes like it's hard to change those coaches' mindset, because we had one, you brought him up earlier, but we had a coach here that we would have to tell him all the time, dude, this isn't all about like, yeah, no, this person's got it, because what you're missing is the fact that there's like 5 steps to get to the exercise of this person that you're making them do, and you've skipped all 5 of them.
Yep.
You're like, oh yeah, dips, go ahead.
Dips, you
older
and your
lady,
you and your whole family are doing dips.
I'm like, dips?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even make my advanced girl clients do dips. Like, it's a very advanced exercise, but this guy was just like the ultimate hype man.
Yeah.
Like, let's go, you got this. And it was like not even a quarter of a rep, dying, but like I tried, and guess what? Super popular. Everyone loves, because everyone loves a hype
man,
person.
or somebody that's gonna make you feel good. But where I would go up to him and be like, hey, maybe like don't do tips with this lady yet. And we're like, all right.
Yeah, all right.
That's
Do it
step 2.
anyway.
Dips again. I was like, well, all right. Screw me then.
So, I mean, I hope we get our point across that it makes sense that after a while, you
we sound
need
like
someone.
haters?
I just think that it's, if you go to any industry where somebody's like very technically sound or very experienced, they're going to tell you that like, okay, there's a lot of crap out there.
You know, I went to an optometrist that I felt that way about, and I was like, somebody was like, oh, this guy's so good, he's so nice. And I was like, this guy sucks. Because he was telling me about my eye, and I was like, dude, is that my eyes are really dry? And then he was like, oh, no, yeah, no, that's after the LASIK. That happens. And I was like, yeah. So should I try like drops? I'm like, that's a great idea. You should try those refresh drops. I'm like, well, shouldn't you be the one recommending that to me? Why am I telling you? And like he was so surprised. I'm like, this guy stinks.
I have a pretty
Yeah.
pretty good radar too for like bullshitters, like people that are just trying to like tell me like what I want to hear. They don't think that I'm gonna go back and like cross-reference everything that they're saying, and I can see when they're trying to appeal to my emotions or like hype me up. I had somebody like that too recently that I was like, I'm not working with this person anymore.
They don't know you have autism.
Well, I guess not, but it's like, okay, you're setting up the environment and all these nice, pretty things, and I'm like, solve my problem, dude.
Yeah.
What
here's
is
a
my
nice
problem?
warm towel.
Yeah, no.
I'm gonna rub your back and tell you everything you want to hear.
I don't care about that.
Okay, like, can we solve my problem? Can we be on time? Can we do all these things that I require, not just like the rubbing my back, my belly, and telling me I'm a good boy? Like,
yeah. So anyway, the moral of the story is you're gonna outgrow that person.
okay, that's what we're talking about.
Don't just take something at face value. Don't just fall into like the emotional connection, and do your research.
Take a step back and analyze.
What has this person actually done?
Yeah.
You know, like every time people ask me about, should I trust this influencer? Should I follow this person on Instagram? I go in and I'll be able to know, of course, because we know better.
Yeah.
Like there are people out there that are solid. They've done the work, like a Syed Fitness, a Brett Contreras, a John Russin. These
Ben
are
Bruno.
people with
like
legitimate credentials. They've done the work. They know how to talk to people. Like their claims are never like outlandish. So,
and they don't depend on their before and afters, which is something we see kind of some mediocre coaches doing, and people will fall for it because, oh, but look at all the before and after. And it's like, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes, editing wise, supplement wise, what they're taking. So, really quick, mira lo que está para allá. Mira esa cosa.
Oh my. So did we completely
Shut up. Guys, holy shit.
So did we completely debunk our own claim that you don't need an expert, or was it like a fair assessment of when to trust like a newbie?
I'm not even sure what we were talking about in the last one. No, I'm just kidding. I think we kind of did both. I think because what we wanted to say is it's true. If you can't afford a coach or you don't want to like go into that yet for whatever reason, you can just go with a friend who's kind of done it before just to get that step in the right direction. But once you've passed that step, I think it's time to start looking for an expert coach. So I think we stuck to the topic.
I think a good analogy here is like, let's say like financial advice, right? Like how many crypto bros are on TikTok telling you this is the stock you need to buy, or this meme coin is gonna blow up, dude, you're gonna become an overnight millionaire. They're appealing to your desires, but then maybe that gets you in the investment game and maybe you do make a few bucks. But at the end of the day, I hope you realize that you have to outgrow that and go talk to a real expert, or read blogs from like seasoned veterans, or read books, or like once you get in like deeper into investing, you realize like, wow, these crypto guys are like potentially really dangerous. It's the same with fitness. Like, yeah, they might give every now and then some decent advice, but for the most part, if you're telling somebody to double down on this stock because I know it's gonna blow up, nobody knows what stock is gonna blow up. It's all hearsay. And People have lost like their life savings following guys like this. So that's just like the best analogy I can come up with.
I think it goes for every field. If somebody's being too schmoozy, too like salesy, or trying to pick at your emotions
Or
too
making
much,
claims that are too big.
Yeah.
Like, sound too good to be true.
they probably are. So like, just take
Yeah.
a step back, analyze it, talk to somebody that you respect and trust. Because sometimes people will be like, "Yeah, go for it," because they don't like to upset their friend. Talk to one of us. We'll be very honest. Sometimes
Yep.
too honest. But yeah, don't fall for it, guys.
I think some of our clients don't come to us because they know we're gonna shit on the thing that
they
they're trying to
might
buy,
want,
and they're
yeah.
gonna buy it anyway.
Yeah.
So then they tell us after the fact, "Oh, by the way, I bought a fat burner."
And we're like, "Oh boy."
And I told her, "You could have just given me the money since you
Yeah.
like to throw money away. Like, I'll take it.
Yeah, just throw it in my direction.
Donation?
I'll catch
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
You guys
We'll
just
get-
want to throw your money away like that and give it to scammers? Just give it to
give it
us.
to us. We'll get
You know?
microphones and
I'll
stuff.
use nice things. Yeah, I'll buy nice things with it. Like,
Yeah, it'll put Maya through ballet school.
mine through school.
That's always a thing.
Get real microphones. All right.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed the episode. So send this to somebody that you think might be making that mistake and following that emotional path towards a bad decision. With that
Most
being
of
said,
you.
guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Beautiful Brothers
Podcast.
Podcast.
How many people stick around to the very end? I wonder.
Probably like 4 or 5.
Write poopy butt in the comments if you stuck around.
Oh, yeah,
I
let's
hang out
pose.
with toddlers too much.
Yeah.